Hi friends, welcome to the Shits and Gigs podcast where we keep the vibe high, the humor gets raunchy, and things get spicy when we talk about food. I'm your host Meg Davis, and we are here tonight for an episode of Bath Bombz. I'm about to drop some bombs on some low maintenance friendships and effortless self care. So I hope you are kicking those feet up, sitting back, relaxing wherever it feels best for you, and just ready to dive in to these lighthearted topics tonight with me. So the other day was kind of just in my feels. I have come to recognize I'm just in a season of slowing down. I'm in that grind and hustle phase as far as growing the podcast and my personal coaching business. And it can just feel hard sometimes to balance it all. I am just using every nook and cranny of time to get things done and to just go after my dreams, including this right now. I mean, it's literally 5:30 in the morning and I am up. I already did my face refresh and my 5-minute morning anchor movement, and now I'm here recording this podcast. So I'm just finding ways to not only show up for myself, but just really show up for my business in every way to continue to grow it. But it definitely has taken a toll on my body and my mindset. It just feels like I'm never stopping. And so I've had to set some boundaries with protecting some of that free time that I have. And I was just really grateful for the people that are in my life, fueling and supporting this lifestyle that I'm living right now. Because life is just forcing me to take it down a notch and be present between the growing brand. And Cam is kind of like delayed with his speech. So like I'm feeling like I need to show up more for him in that way and like grow that skill and just find creative ways to help him explore his voice and stuff. And it's been kind of fun. Little side note, I actually went to Assumption College for 4 years. I got my bachelor's in human services, but I had a focus in speech pathology, and I got a really great opportunity right out of college. And I did find it so intriguing to see the progress and transformation of children as their speech developed. However, completely transparent here, I wanted to throw those kids out the window. And I think I was just more so fascinated on how speech and language work and hearing and audiology and all that stuff. Is just so intriguing when you really think about how fascinating it is that we're able to just do all of these things. And it's been really cool to see my son develop his speech and sounds and things like that, because we take it for granted so often how effortless it is once that skill is built. I have a close friend whose aunt is dealing with aphasia after a series of crazy life happenings for herself, and she's learning to speak again as an adult, and it's just so crazy to see that process. So I think, end of story, I think I was just fascinated, and it didn't end up being for me. However, this new season of motherhood and having to dive into building that skill with Cam has sparked a little speechy in me. So, but that again takes time, and I wanted to do next level stuff for him, like some flashcards with faces of people that he's around all the time, and just things like that. So it's again setting boundaries and expectations for certain time, and I just am really thankful for the people that are in my life that are open to helping me with these things, but also just supporting me in this season of kind of taking a step back and not being as social. And my family has kind of been like a Lifetime movie recently. It's just been like a lot going on. So I've really been leaning into living humbly and having more fun at home and going to friends' houses. And we've gotten really ambitious with bringing the pack and play. So that's opened up some possibilities for us as far as having more of a social life. This past probably, I think we've been ambitious at that almost this full year. So that's been really freeing as far as getting out more, but not necessarily going out to restaurants and such, since that's not really in the budget. Some things that we've been doing are we do every Friday night, we do pizza nights at home. We make homemade pizza. We just kind of hang out and chill. We have darts in the garage, so we'll do that. Or we'll just simply sit on the porch and catch up and stuff, which is always really nice. I look forward to that night with my husband every single week. My husband was given a smoker by a friend, so we've been smoking meats like crazy. That's been really fun and interesting. House projects. I'm huge on projects in the backyard because I to have spots to escape to. Like, home is an escape for me. because life outside of the house can be pretty crazy, pretty intense. So I love to just be able to come home and escape. It's like my safe space. So I have the hammock set up. My husband and I cleaned up the fire pit, and we're starting to kind of clear out the garage and hopefully transform that space for us to be like an at-home hangout, maybe a pod spot eventually. So just kind of dreaming big in that way, in like a humble way, because that's just where we're at in life right now. And sometimes it sucks to have to say no because going out isn't in the budget or whatever, but it does feel good to have built that skill of saying no when it doesn't feel right for me. So definitely an empowering move if that's something you have a really hard time with. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I am one that always tends to overfill their plate with plans and obligations, and learning to say no was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to learn, but is definitely a power move, especially if slowing down is something you are craving and you think is necessary for your wellness. I highly recommend flexing that skill. It's not easy. However, with building that skill, you also find out who your true village is, because the people that stick around and still support you and still love you and push you to get to that next level during that no season are your people, I'm telling you. So as hard as it will be to potentially let some people go because they can't handle that you're in this season, you will figure out who your true peeps are. So go at it fearlessly, or as fearlessly as you can, and learn to say no. Superpower move. But yeah, I was in my feels the other day and I made this reel, and my friend Olivia, who is a friend of over, how old are we now? 31. Probably over 25 years we've been friends. We met in preschool. So it's really cool to have her as a friend all these years. And she is someone that I love, especially because she's one that really leans into just that big picture thinking that I'm obsessed with, and just getting grounded in reality, really. And I just wanted to read her comment because I feel like it's something that a lot of people would relate to. She had swiped up and we were just catching up on life because it's been a couple weeks. And she said, we do need to slow down and enjoy the present time and not always focus on the next best thing. Because at one point, we worked so hard to get to where we're at, and at one point we used to imagine the right now as that next best thing, which is, whoa, so big. Like, being a mom is something I've always looked forward to. And I really take for granted the opportunity I have right now with Cam being at this special age of learning and growing, that I really need to spend more time being present to that. And that will not only benefit my fulfillment of being a mom, but also hopefully it'll help him advance and grow in a positive way as well. So she's like, we used to imagine the right now as that next best thing, but we never really take that time to truly enjoy it. So how are some ways that you can take that step back and really enjoy where you're at? Because at one point, some version of your right now was that something you were looking forward to. So what is in your life right now that you were always looking forward to, and that you could really take some time to be present to it right now? Because there's only the right now. That's all that's in our control. If there's nothing that this past year has taught me, it's that you only have control of the right now and how you choose to show up for yourself every single day. And everything else is up for grabs by the universe. You just never know what the frick is going to happen in your life. And if you don't choose to just be present to the right now, you're missing out. We are just letting life fly by without truly enjoying any part of it. So, huge wake-up call for me. Thanks, Liv, for having that conversation with me and for being who you are in my life. You are a ride or die for sure. And just thankful for all of my low maintenance friendships right now who truly just understand where I'm at and love every version of myself, and who challenge me and support me in our safe space for when things get dicey, because we all need those people that we can lean on even when life gets a little too crazy for us to handle. Definitely hope that every one of you guys have those people in your life. And if you don't, feel free to message me on Instagram at megdavis.healthcoach. I am happy to be a safe space for whoever needs it. I absolutely love connecting and communicating with people on another level. So feel free to reach out anytime if you need a vent or just have a safe space to be seen and heard. And just let me know that whether you want me to just lean in and listen, or if you'd maybe like some advice or some potential, guidance. I would love to be that person for you. So huge shout out to all my low maintenance friends. You know who you are. Thank you for all you do and for getting me through this season of building and growing my brand and staying humble. And now I just wanted to dive into some effortless self-care, because for the season that I'm at with giving so much to my business and my family and my friends, I have had to find ways to just effortless self-care, to fill my cup. Before motherhood, I would be working out at least 35 minutes to an hour a day as an escape. I had a journaling routine. I would take a bath once a week, and like those next level self-care items are just not on the table as far as a consistent method of self-care. I definitely still incorporate those things, just not daily or weekly in that consistency. So these are a couple things that I have been able to find time for, whether it be daily or pretty regularly, that I think you guys could maybe enjoy as well. If you feel like you're super stressed and you really just need to pour into your cup, but you just cannot find the time for it. So these are some ways that you can show up for yourself in a very simple way, in the nooks and crannies of life. So peel off face masks. This one, definitely do your research though, because there are some sketchy things on the shelves now. Don't be going to the Dollar Tree, because I love my mom. She works at the Dollar Tree. However, some things, you can go there. Maybe they do have an option that doesn't have junk in it. But some things you just have to be careful about when it comes to cutting corners on price, because then you pay the price of putting toxic things in your body, which is in almost honestly everything that's available on the market right now. Jess and I were actually talking yesterday at the Nutrition Club about how there was a study on, I know, sad times, nacho Doritos. And whatever they were doing, they were feeding them to rats, and they were like literally glowing. Like, what the F is in our food, people? It's scary. Like, why are these things that are making mice glow in our nacho Doritos? I just don't get it. So if there's one thing you can do for yourself, I guess a simple self-act care is also starting to read labels and becoming aware of ingredients that are sketch AF. Maybe I will also deep dive into that for a Bath Bombz episode for you guys, because there's really just a lot to consider nowadays, unfortunately, and it's overwhelming, and oftentimes you just don't know where to start. One thing for me was leaning into like laundry detergents that were clean and cleaning products. That was like one way I felt like I could control my experience in a slightly less toxic living situation. But yeah, I will definitely take note and maybe do an episode on that, because it is scary times right now when it comes to toxic ingredients in the things that we're regularly consuming and or putting on our body. But a peel off face mask is so nice, because you put it on, you let it kind of dry up, and then you simply peel it off. I was joking around with some girlfriends the other day because I was having a me night. Josh was out with the boys, and I did a steam shower, and then I did a face mask after. And I absolutely love the Herbalife Mint Clay Mask, because my skin feels so fresh and feels tight. Feel like I have no wrinkles after that thing. And the only downside for my lazy butt sometimes is that you have to wash it off. You can't just peel it off and throw it in the trash and use like a light rinse with a face cloth or something. Like, it takes effort to take it off. So oftentimes I love to do that one before I hop in the shower, because then I can just rinse it off and it's no big deal. But I had done it the other night and I had it on for like an hour. My face was crisp and I needed to take it off. And I was joking around with my friends that I just like was regretting that self-care, because I was feeling so lazy. It was like 10 p.m. and I still had to rinse it off. But yeah, so peel off face masks are one of my favorites, because it's quick, it's easy, and everyone deserves to take care of their skin. It allows your skin to detoxify from all the things that we intake and stress. So great option, but just read your labels and be aware of sketchy ingredients. Candle showers. I love doing candlelight showers. This is just a fun, simple way to really just decompress life for yourself. You can just take that time. I was gifted some lavender steamers for the shower. Simple, low-cost investment for yourself. I'm pretty sure most places have them now. Again, just read labels for like dyes and additives and stuff. But I did a steam shower. That was super nice with candles, and I threw on a meditation. Effortless. So you're taking your shower anyways. Why not just up-level that experience through throwing a steam in there, throwing on a meditation, and doing it in candlelight? So basic. You're going to shower anyways. Just take that extra step for yourself when you have the time. Or not when you have the time, because you have the time because you're showering. So let's throw that excuse out the window. But when you have the mental capacity to show up for yourself in that way, definitely up-level your shower experience. I highly recommend it. The acupressure mat is a huge thing for me. I rave about this thing to anyone whenever it comes up in conversation, because it has just done wonders for muscle tension for myself, for de-stressing, and it's just such an effortless way to show up for myself because I can just throw my acupressure mat on the couch and sit on it while I'm working. While we're watching TV, I can lay on it or just use the neck pillow or lower back pillow to, again, just kind of like release stress and tension. Highly recommend. If you have FSA or HSA funds that you pour into, it does qualify. You can go on Amazon. Fun fact at all for any of those people that have that, you can go on Amazon and put in like FSA, HSA approved items, and a whole bundle of things will show up. You might have to actually be more specific because there's so many items available that are qualified that you can then therefore put your FSA and HSA card in Amazon and use that for stuff. So super helpful if you weren't aware and you have that, like things like tampons, Band-Aids, sunblock, super expensive, that's covered. Tampons, super expensive, that's covered. Diapers and wipes, I'm pretty sure also covered. I should actually utilize that more for diapers and wipes. We tend to save those funds for our co-pays and things that come up through the year. So I often forget about it for that, but I definitely cash in on tampons because that's something that is very pricey nowadays and definitely gets used, obviously. But yeah, acupressure mat, huge power move, effortless self-care. Stepping outside for 5 minutes unplugged, crazy how that can just decompress your mind for whatever is ahead for the day. Just simply unplugging, closing your eyes, just sitting, hopefully in like some sunlight, just getting some nice vitamin D, and just breathing and just listening and being present. I love that the crickets are out right now because that is really easy for my brain to hone in on when I want to take that 5 minutes and just really kind of be entranced with being outside and being off my phone. We're just attached to our technology 24/7 and it is quite draining. So getting outside and escaping that little light box for 5 minutes is so empowering for me. And something that Jess and I were talking about the other day, driving home in silence. Apparently, if you spend like 15 minutes driving home in silence, it is a way to kind of rewire and decompress your brain for social interactions moving forward. So if at any point during your day you take 15 minutes where you're just in silence, which is hard, like meditation is hard for people because we are consistently connected through these little light boxes that are attached to our hip, and taking that time to just be silent and be with yourself is uncomfortable at first, for sure, for most people. However, completely necessary if you want to show up presently for yourself and the people that you care about most. So, crazy thing that I've been doing, like sometimes I'll even just drive home, but I'll put sound bowls on so it's relaxing, but totally different if it's completely silent. It just, again, brings awareness to like the right now and living in that like present state. And it kind of just lets your mind like run through those thoughts, and it also lets them release because there's nothing else taking up that mental capacity. Like there's no other sound other than the voice in your head, just like releasing whatever's running through. And then hopefully by the time you get home, your mind is open and ready to absorb new interaction without that mental clutter that lingers from work or wherever you just came from. And last thing for effortless self-care, just washing your face. This is something that I do morning and evening, and I don't have a huge cleansing routine. I only use my cleanser like if I'm showering, or when I'm showering rather. So otherwise I use micellar water, just on like a textured cotton pad, which get off my back about the cotton pads. I use reusable to the best of my ability, but that is something I just, I don't know, reusable like cloths and sponges and all that seriously skeeves me out, to be honest. So there are silicone options. I do have a silicone, like, it's not a loofah because loofahs are also gross, but it's like a thing to wash up with, but it's all silicone. So very eco-friendly and very bacterial friendly as far as I'm aware. Let me know if it's not. But washing my face in the morning and doing like a face refresh is one of the best things I've done for myself, because it just wakes me up for the day. It makes me feel fresh. I don't always do makeup, especially if I'm just kind of chilling at home for the day. But if I know I'm going to be going out, I'll just do simple concealer under my eyes. I do like a bronzer and a blush and a highlighter, and it just makes me feel fresh for the day. And it just makes me feel confident and beautiful. And that is something that I've worked in every morning. That just feels so nice before I come downstairs and do my morning anchor movement. And yeah, so simple. And then one other thing that I've been doing for myself when it's hair wash day, I do a nice scalp massage. I feel like this is something that people overlook, and it's so basic. Again, we're in the shower anyways. We're washing our hair anyways. Why not take that extra step to love on ourselves and really just connect and massage your scalp? It's so easy. It feels great. It's not as great if someone else, as if like someone else were doing it, but you still get that release and those positive, probably like a serotonin boost, I would think, because it just feels so good to do that for yourself. But super basic ways to show up for yourself. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up with our mocktail tonight. I'm going to share our autumn sunrise recipe from Elevated Nutrition. Come check us out at 34 Nooseneck Hill Road in West Greenwich, Rhode Island, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 2:30, or Saturdays, 8 to 1, Sundays for family. Or if you want to get this at home, you can message me at megdavis.healthcoach for the scoop on pricing at home. So this is a super yummy seasonal special that we've had. Everyone's been loving it. It's tart, it's fruity, it's refreshing, and it's been a top pick at the club, so I figured that's why I'd share it this week. You're going to start off, we're going to layer it up because it does look pretty, with your pomegranate liftoff, peach tea, and mango aloe in the bottom. You do 1 palm liftoff, half a teaspoon of peach tea, and then 2 to 3 capfuls of your mango aloe, and you do that in about like 3 ounces of water in the bottom of a cup. Ice it to the top, water almost to the top, and then we top it off with our white grape drink mix, which is a vitamin C boosted beverage mix. And that white grape really tones down all the fruity tones and tartans things up a bit, which makes it super refreshing and super enjoyable. So definitely try that out at the club if you swing on by, or again, you can message me on Instagram for the deets on getting it at home. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I hope this inspired you to lean into low maintenance friendships if that's feeling good for a season that you're in, and hopefully lean into some of these effortless self-care items, because everyone can always afford to pour into their cup just a little more. Thanks for tuning in. Toodles.